Hello students. Today we are going to learn a last topic of this chapter, and that is tissue culture. As traditional breeding techniques failed to keep pace with the demand and to provide sufficiently fast and efficient system for a crop improvement. Okay, and that's why another technology called tissue culture got developed. It was learned by scientists during 1950s that whole plant could be regenerated from explants. So here you can see some explants are given, that is a smaller fragment from the whole plant. Okay, and by using these explants you can develop full developed plant. Okay, if you provide some suitable environment or suitable growth factors. Okay, that means any part of a plant taken out and grown in a test tube, okay, under sterile condition, and some nutrients will be provided from the outside in a special nutrient media, and by this way you can develop new full developed plants. This capacity to regenerate a whole plant from any cell or explant is called totipotency. Okay, means this fragment have the ability to develop into full developed plant. Okay, this ability of this plant, this fragment is called totipotency. Now let me understand more about totipotency in plant. So here you can see one carrot is taken. Okay, fragments were cultured in a nutrient medium, means a carrot fragment, that is a transverse section of a carrot root, that is taken in a culture medium, in a nutrient medium, and stirring caused single cell to shear off into the liquid. Okay, it is mixed well uniformly. Then single cell free in suspension began to divide. It will the cell will be divided, and embryonic plant develop from the cultured single cell, means out of this single cell which is taken as a fragment of the carrot, okay, it will develop into embryonic plant, okay, from the single cell. And finally plantlet was cultured on agar medium. Later it was planted in a soil, and by this way you can see plantlet will be obtained, and a single somatic carrot cell develop into a mature carrot plant. Okay, so by this way you can say the cells of the carrot, each cell of the carrot may have a totipotency characteristic. By using the principle of a totipotency, we can develop so many type of plant culture. Okay, here are some examples you can see. That is the callus culture, cell suspension culture, anther culture, ovule culture, okay, embryo culture. These all are the methods or a type of a plant culture. So now let me go through them one by one. So first of all, let me go through callus culture. So first of all, we have to understand what is a callus. So callus is an unspecialized, or we can say unorganized or growing and dividing mass of cell. That means these cells are undifferentiated cells, and undifferentiated unspecialized cells are called callus. Okay, so callus will be taken out from the plant, okay, and culture will be done. It produce when explants are cultured on the appropriate solid medium with both the auxin and cytokinin. As you know very well, as you have learned in standard 11, that auxin and cytokinin both are the growth factors, or we can say growth hormones. Okay, and that's why it is very important to add during the callus system or callus culture system. In a correct condition, then 2,4-D are also commonly used. It is also plant hormone. During callus formation, there is some degree of a dedifferentiation. Okay, you know very well what is a dedifferentiation, differentiation, and redifferentiation. So here, some amount of a dedifferentiation occur, both in morphology and metabolism. Okay, resulting in the loss of the ability to photosynthesis, and it will lose the ability to photosynthesis. And by this way, you can see here some group of cells will be obtained, and that is called callus culture. If callus grown on a solid media, that is considered as a callus culture. Okay, and same callus if grown under the condition of a liquid medium, then it is considered as a suspension culture method. So let me discuss about suspension culture method. So here you can see in the flask callus tissue is taken. Okay, then liquid medium is there. Okay, which is rich with the some phytonutrients, and now this liquid medium will be given a treatment of a shaker, rotary shaker, that is in the under certain RPMs, rotation per minute, and then cell suspension will be allowed to grow. Okay, and finally when some several cycles of cell cycle will be fast, then you can see here it will be give embryos. Okay, and finally it will regenerate new plants. So by this way, suspension culture will give you some plant cultures. Now let me discuss and differentiate between callus culture and suspension culture. So first point, a cell division in a explant form callus in case of a callus culture, whereas in case of a suspension culture is consist of single cell or a small group of cells. Okay, whereas in callus culture maintain in a agar medium, that is a solid medium, solid nutrient medium, whereas in this case it is the liquid medium. Whereas in the callus culture, auxin, cytokinin, all are the growth regulators, whereas here auxins are the growth regulators mainly. Then callus is obtained within 2 to 3 weeks, whereas it grown faster than the callus culture because suspension will be very fast. Okay, the growth on the solid is very lesser than the growth on the liquid medium. So it needs no agitation. Here in the solid media, agitation is not needed, but here agitation is needed. That may be 100 to 250 rpm or rotation per minute. Another tissue culture method is anther culture. So here what is taken from the flower, anther will be taken out. Then this anther will be cultured on a media, that is a nutrient media, and then you can see new haploid shoots will be developed out of that. Means here you know very well this is the anther, and that's why whatever the pollen grains are there inside this, mean the cells whatever are present in this will be haploid, and that's why here haploid shoot will be developed. This is also a very good method of a plant culture. Next tissue culture method is the ovary or ovule culture method, in which ovary or ovule culture involves development of a haploid from unfertilized cells of an embryo sac. You know very well this is the embryo sac, suppose. Okay, so from the embryo sac present in the ovary, some embryo sac will be taken. Okay, and its application is the production of a haploid plant. If you want to produce a haploid plant, at that time such a culture will be utilized, and achievement of in vitro fertilization. Another method of a tissue culture is the embryo culture, in which tissue culture is the growth of a tissue or a cells separate from the organism. So it means you have to separate out some tissue, some parts from the organism, then you have to grow under artificial condition. That is called a tissue culture. So here embryo develop from zygote, you know very well, the single cell resulting from the fertilization of the female gamete and male gamete. So here what is taken out from the plant, embryo will be taken out from the plant and it will be grown under certain condition in the laboratory, and by this way embryo culture will be carried out. Okay, and new plantlet will be generated. It is important to stress here that the nutrient medium must provide, means nutrient medium must have a carbon sources, okay, such as the sucrose and also inorganic salts, means whatever the culture method is, but you have to provide liquid medium or a nutrient medium. Okay, and that nutrient medium must be rich with the carbon sources, especially sucrose and all organic salts. Okay, even it must be have vitamins, amino acids, growth regulators such as auxins and cytokinins, that are phytohormones, plant related hormones. Okay, by application of these methods it is possible to achieve propagation of a large number of plants in a very short duration. So whatever methods you are using, that doesn't matter, but by using any method you can achieve propagation of a large number of plants in a very short duration. That is our main goal. Okay, we are getting these in a very short duration as per the normal situation. These method of producing thousands of plants through tissue culture is called micropropagation. So by this way whatever we are getting the tissues or a plant by these methods is called micropropagation. And let me try to understand by using this diagram. Here suppose explant is taken from the plant. Okay, this explant will be provided with the nutrient media for 2 to 3 months. Okay, then you can see a cycle 1 is there, then cycle 2 is passed, then cycle 3, and by this way what happen in the stage 3, rooting will be developed, and if you isolate them all, you will get so many number of plants together. Okay, and they may be act as individual plantlets, and you can grow them and you will get a whole plants. So by this way, this is called micropropagation, and together you will get so many number of plantlets together. Whatever the plants we are getting or whatever the plantlets we are getting from the micropropagation, each of these plant will be genetically identical. Okay, means all plants whatever we are getting from the micropropagation will be genetically identical to original plant from which they were grown, and such plants are considered as a soma clones. So let me try to understand here. You can see the plantlets. Okay, each plantlets are genetically similar to their parents, and such plantlets are considered as the soma clones. So next, many important plants like food plants like tomato, banana, apple, etc. have been produced in a commercial scale, okay, using this method, by using micropropagation method. Try to visit a tissue culture laboratory with your teacher, means this is the activity. Okay, try to visit a tissue culture laboratory with your teacher to better understand appreciate all the processes. Means you can go through that processes and you get the idea how tissue culture methods are. Another very important tissue culture technique is a protoplast fusion. So scientists have been isolated single cell from the plant. Okay, and after digesting the cell wall, here you can see one plant cell is selected from the plant. Okay, and the cell wall, which is mainly means here plant cell is there, so cell wall is mostly made up of cellulose, and by using cellulase enzyme, a cell wall will be degraded out. Okay, after removal of the cell wall, you can see if removed cell wall, then it will convert into this spherical shape. Okay, means that outer layer will be removed, that is a cell, that was a cell wall, and now the outer layer will be of plasma lemma. Such a cell which cell wall is removed is now called protoplast. Okay, so two different plant are taken, plant A, plant B, parent A, parent B. Okay, and protoplast generation occur. Okay, so protoplast is formed by using this cell wall degradation method, and here you can see parent A protoplast is taken, parent B protoplast is taken, then it will be treated with polyethylene glycol, one chemical, that is a polyethylene glycol, and by treating these two, you can see a fusion between these two protoplasts will occur. Okay, and cell fusion occur, then you see nuclear fusion will occur, and finally whatever the cell is obtained will be hybrid cell, that is called somatic hybrid cell. Okay, and whole phenomena is called protoplast fusion. Let me repeat from here. Scientists have been isolated single cell from the plant, when they will isolate or select the single cell from the plant, and after digesting the cell wall, it become protoplast, and have been able to isolate naked protoplast, that is surrounded by plasma membrane, because now cell wall is removed. Isolated protoplast from two different variety of a plant, each having a desirable character, what you want to desire. Okay, your characteristic must be desirable character, can be fused to get hybrid protoplast, which can be further grown to form a new plant. Okay, and by this way new plant will be developed. These hybrid are called somatic hybrids. Whatever you get, the cells are called somatic hybrid cells, and the process is called somatic hybridization process. Now let me discuss some example of a protoplast fusion. Imagine a situation when a protoplast of a tomato plant or a tomato cell is fused with that of a potato. Means the protoplast taken from the tomato cell and protoplast which is taken from the potato cell, and then both will be fused together, and you can see a new hybrid combination of a tomato and potato will be get, and that is called pomato. Okay, that is called pomato. Here you can see the plant. What is there? On the shoot system you will get the tomato, in the root system you will get the potato in the same plant by doing this type of a fusion. Okay, well, this has been achieved resulting in formation of a tomato. Unfortunately, this plant did not have all the desired combination of characteristic, and that's why its commercial utilization is not possible. Another example is the pomato, which is the protoplast fusion between brinjal cells and potato cells. And here you can see on the shoot system you will get the brinjals, and the root system you will get the Another important application of tissue culture is the recovery of a healthy plant from diseased plant. Here you can see the apple tree is a disease. Okay, the infection of virus infection is there in this plant, suppose. Okay, so if you do a plant tissue culture method, then you will get the healthy plant, which is a virus free plant. Okay, so although the plant is infected with the virus, what will happen? Plant is totally infected with the virus. The meristem or apical or axillary bud, which is free from the virus. So we have to taken out apical bud from that plant, which is virus free. Okay, then you have to culture it, and you may get, ultimately you will get the virus free plant by using this technique. Hence, one can remove the meristem and grow it in vitro in the laboratory to obtain virus free plant. So scientists have succeeded in culturing meristems of banana, sugarcane and potato, and we get, by using this method, we can get virus free plants. So now we are finishing this chapter, and at the end of the chapter I am giving you two tasks. That task 1, you have to finish all remaining exercise question from the textbook. Okay, then task 2 is to solve all MCQs from exercise 1 of MCQ sheets. Okay, so finish this all tasks, okay, before we start new chapter. And before we finish this lecture, let me summarize all the topics by using one animation video. So look at this video.
Tissue culture is a method used for plant propagation in addition to other traditional plant breeding techniques. It was during the 1950s that scientists found that any part of a plant grown in nutrient media under sterile conditions can give rise to a whole new plant. This property of plant cells to give rise to a whole new plant is called totipotency. Tissue culture uses this property of plant cells for asexual plant propagation in an aseptic environment. It requires a nutrient medium that contains sucrose, inorganic salts, vitamins, proteins, and growth regulators such as auxins and cytokinins. The tissue culture technique involves several steps. The first step is excising a small part of plant tissue like the root, shoot, or leaves of a plant. Then placing the cutout part or explant in a suitable nutrient medium, followed by allowing the explants to multiply and form a group of tissues called callus. The callus is then allowed to multiply to form many plantlets, which are then transferred to a different container for rapid multiplication. Finally, the developed plantlets are transplanted to the soil for normal growth. Therefore, tissue culture is performed using a small part of a plant to develop many plants, and so is also called micropropagation. As all these plants are developed from the same part of the parent plant, they are genetically identical and called somaclones. Micropropagation or tissue culture is employed in the large-scale production of tomato, banana, and apple. This technique can also be used to propagate high-yielding, disease-resistant varieties in a short span. Even if a plant is diseased, tissue culture can be used to get a healthy plant using the explant of the apical or axillary meristem. This is because the meristem is always free of disease and microbes. Culturing of meristems has been successfully carried out in plants such as banana, sugarcane, and potato. In addition to asexual propagation of plants, Tissue culture is also used to mix two different species of plants that are otherwise sexually incompatible. Here, individual cells are isolated from each plant species and are placed in a culture medium. The cell wall gets digested in both cells, which aids fusion of the two protoplasts of different species, resulting in a hybrid protoplast. The hybrid protoplast is called a somatic hybrid, which gives rise to a whole new plant and may contain the desired characters of both species. This process of developing a hybrid plant using somatic cells is called somatic hybridization. It was employed while fusing the tomato and potato plants to obtain a hybrid plant. As a result, the hybrid plant resembled the tomato, but it didn't combine all the desired characters as expected. In this manner, tissue culture, somatic hybridization, and other plant breeding techniques provide a huge potential for manipulation of plants to produce new varieties, boost food production, and enhance crops.
Next lecture you will have a revision test 3. Okay, you have already appeared for revision test 1 and revision test 3. Similar kind of a revision test will conducted in next lecture. In next 3 lectures we will have a 3 test in continue. First test, which is a test 3, will be from the chapter number 8. Test 4 will be from chapter number 9. Test 5 will be from chapter number 8 and 9. Okay, this will be in the form of a revision test. So prepare well for that. Until that, goodbye.